Hola mi compadres, Brian the Boat here, and today we are going to do a review on the Locust PS, only available on the PS4 version of World of Tanks. PS obviously made in PlayStation. Now this tank is a feisty little one because if everyone knows the Locust, you probably know the Locust PS as well because it's just a skin, a chrome skin on a Locust. It's regular Locust, nothing too different, only except it's chrome, and it has that little colorful banner of the logo for World of Tanks. But if many of you just started the game on World of Tanks PS4, on the PS4, then I would love to do a review, so let's do that right now. So let's check out the packages that are available to it. So let's toggle the menu right here, and so we have the engine, and the engine power is 192, so the horsepower is 192, so that would be really helpful to get away from situations like if you're dealing with some tank destroyers, which this tank will get pretty easily destroyed by a tank destroyer, so avoid those. And then then you have the 37mm gun on this tank. The rate of fire is 26.20, so it's pretty fast. But the downside, I believe, is the aiming time. The aiming time is 1.71, which is kind of slow, but it's still acceptable in my terms. And then the accuracy is 0.40, so you can get some rounds in some other tanks, but you really need to be careful. So if I were you, stay slow for a minute, stay still for a minute. Shoot, go back, stay hidden for a while, go back in, get another shot in, and I'm pretty sure that tactic will work for you for this light tank. The penetration round on this gun that is available to it is 56 for AP rounds, 78 for APCR, and 19 for HE rounds. APCR is obviously the premium AP rounds, only except they are only purchasable with gold. Of course, you can switch them to silver, but they're pretty expensive, so use them at your own risk. The damage with this gun is 40 with regular AP rounds, 40 for APCR, so it's practically the same thing, only except the APCR rounds are higher penetration. And then the 50 is for HE rounds, but there's only a bad side too, which is 19, so you can try your best to shoot at a tank with really no armor at all, but you're pretty much screwed if you're dealing with a tier 3 tank, because some of them really don't have that much armor. Well, many of them do have a lot of armor, so if I were you, stick with the AP rounds and stick with the APCR rounds. Maybe AP rounds, because APCR rounds might be too expensive at this point. And so let's go to the tracks, which allows you to traverse speed at 40 degrees, which is really helpful, because if you want to back off, then you can do it pretty quickly. And so we have the turret, which has 25 all around the turret, so it has 25 on the front, on the sides, and the back. But warning to Locust drivers, if you're dealing with tier 4 tanks and a tank that has a strong armor, strong gun, and gets your backside, you're probably going to get ammo racked, because if they hit you in the back of the turret, there are 3 slots for the for ammo racking you on the turret. So you got 2 here. Let me show you the diagram, because the diagram does help. So if you see the diagram right there, you can see there's actually 4 slots. The one on the right, yes, on the right, will be easier to get ammo racked. So if I were you, try to notice people on the backside, because you could get flanked. And then there's one on the left, but that will be less of a more chance to get ammo racked. So if I were you, if you were dealing with a Locust, a pesky little Locust, then aim on the backside of the turret and try to hit them on the right side to get a good chance to ammo racking them. And so let's check out the armor on the chassis. And the chassis is 25 in the front, so that's not really reliable when dealing with tier 3 or tier 2 tanks. But if you angle enough, then I think that you'll be able to ricochet some shots if you're lucky. So if I were you, be careful. But the other weakness of this tank is obviously no armor practically, because this is a light tank, so it needs to go fast. So it's just 13 in the sides as well and 13 in the back, so it'd be easily to get penetrated in the back and in the sides. 25, you got a little chance of ricocheting. And the gun has a gun depression of 7mm, so that'll be really helpful when you're dealing with situations with mountains somewhat. So use that gun depression to your advantage. If not, then that's okay. If I got that wrong, I apologize. And the rate of fire is obviously 26, I've already said. The view range is 330 millimeters, so that'll be really good. And then camouflage is really high, so use that camouflage to your advantage. Now, when you want to upgrade this tank with packages, you notice, as I showed you before, but I never talked about it, that there's no packages. The reason why is because this tank is a premium tank, and that means that when you buy a premium tank, there's nothing to upgrade. It's just there, ready to go into battle. So that's a good thing too, so you don't really have to worry about upgrading it, and it's going to have the best gun available to it. Not always, because there's some tanks with really bad guns, and if you get premium, you're pretty much screwed, so you have to watch out which premium tank you should get. Once I get a little bit more money in my bank account, which I don't even have one, I will get some guns and, not guns, I would get some tanks and show you if it's really worth buying it. But there's one tank that I really want to get, which is the Girls und Panzer 4H, which looks like a good tank. So I'm going to do a review of that as well to see if it was actually worth the grind. Because right now I'm at 5,247 out of 20,000 XP, so we'll see how that goes. But right now we're focused on the Locust. The equipment wise, I should tell you, is to get the camouflage net, because not only do you need camouflage, because camouflage is really helpful. So if I were you, get the camouflage net. And if you have, well, I don't think you can use camouflage on your tank, because there's another option that will allow you to get camouflage on your tank, so like it'll be painted differently. But for this tank specifically, since it has a paint job of a chrome version, I don't think it will allow you to put a camouflage camo on the tank, so I don't think so. And then another thing you should get is coated optics, which allows you to get up to 500 meters 10 plus to view range. So if I were you really do need that for light tanks. Not only for light tanks, but for tank destroyers. So get that as well, but it's pretty expensive though. So if I were you, try to save up some money and try your best to get it. But if I were you, wait for a while until you get to the higher tiers to get that. And then the improved ventilation class 1 is really helpful, because I've never really used it, but until I used it on my KV-13 on Where the Tanks Blitz. I've wondered if I would be really crappy without it, but I used it on the tank, and man, was there a big difference, because the tank itself really did work differently without and with it. So if I were you, get the improved ventilation class 1, which improves all of crew skills by 5%. You may be asking yourself, that's only 5%. Why would I want to waste 3,500? Is it 35,000 or 3,500? I'm pretty sure it's 35,000. 35,000 silver on just 5%, but 5% makes a huge difference. So if I were you, please get that. And those are my suggestions for you to get for your equipment. Nothing much really to talk about else besides get the consumables, which will obviously be the small repair kit, small first aid kit, and the manual extinguisher. A manual extinguisher allows you to take out fires, because if you don't take out fires, you're going to die pretty quickly. Small first aid kit allows you to heal crew members, so use it wisely, because sometimes there can be more important people to revive than others. But a warning too, if all your crew members die, that means your tank is dysfunctional and not operational. So that means if your all crew members die, you die as well. So if I were you, be careful of that as well, and try your best to heal all crew members. But only you can do one, so pick the most important one that you need. And then the small repair kit, it works almost the same as the small first aid kit, and that allows you to repair only one damaged module. So you have to be really careful with what you do. So if you have a damaged ammo rack or a damaged turret, then choose wisely, or whatever fits you the best. And good luck with that, because that is a really tough choice. And then you got other stuff right here, but these things cost for gold. Let's see if it actually, no, we can't do that because it's not enough gold. So reset, can't do that, but the gold things requires you the larger repair kit, which repairs all damaged modules, which is great, but it's 50 gold, which I'm pretty sure you can't switch them to silver, so that's the thing I have to look up later. But case of cola, Chem Plus, which is practically better than verticalization, the other one. So if I were you, just maybe get that, but it only works for one round, and the other one works for every round. So if I were you, go for the other one, because not only does it cost less, but it's a less pain. So if I were you, use that. Alright, so in the rounds consist of armor piercing, AP, APCR, and high explosive. use these two right here. That would be most important. But for these low tiers, go for this one, practically like the main one. Use that as your main one. That would be really helpful. And then for this, use it for extreme measures if you're dealing with tier 4 tanks, because tier 4 tanks can be a tough little nut to crack, so use it sparingly. If I were you, just back off from tier 4 battles, because there can be situations where there'd be a better suited place for you to stay, or just to go over there instead of trying your best to penetrate and cause little damage to a really strong tier 4 tank. So be careful with that. So enough jibber jabber, let's go into a battle and see how it actually works, because I feel like it'd be a good opportunity. Now I'm not gonna talk over when I'm playing, but I will after I'm done playing, commentate it on it, if that makes sense. So like, I won't play and talk at the same time. I'll play it first and then talk about the mistakes or the things I did good about the review. So we'll see how we do. So enough jibber jabber, as I said before, and get into battle. Okay, so we are in the map of Port, and it is currently snowing. So this map actually looks pretty good, and hopefully it will be good for us. But actually, I know what happens, because obviously I played it before. So the penetration chance, I forgot to mention, is when it's low, it shows yellow. If it's a medium chance, it's orange, but if you high chance, it's red. And now the battle that we have is a tier 4 battle, which actually is not good for us because we actually are a tier 3 tank. So what I needed to do actually was to move around almost close to the pack with everyone else, but stay just not as far away from them as well. So like, keep my distance, but not keep my distance too much, so that when the enemies actually are everywhere there, then all I can do is just move back to the squadron and try my best to survive after my teammates try to cover me, hopefully, if they're successful like that. But as you can see right now, I am scouting a lot of people, and I'm spotting as well, so I almost hit that thing right there. But right now, I spotted at least 4 people right now. Yeah, at least 4 people, but none have been damaged so far. But yes, I was pretty successful at scouting those people on the bridge. Now, when I first saw that on the map, I was first like, oh my gosh, am I gonna die? Like I saw them literally about to like maybe T-bone me in the back. It was just like, whoa, 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 be careful, be careful. But you just have to pay attention to the map and really pay close attention to it, because if you don't, then you can get yourself to a sticky situation. And right there, I'm showing the gun depression on it. Apparently it said 8 this time, so maybe it was just the terrain, I don't know. But maybe I was correct about the gun depression about it, but we'll see about that. But right now we got enemies to the left. I got stuck right there, so I had to be careful. But in this situation right here, what I really needed to do was probably try my best to maybe support, because right now we lost 1 tank destroyer, even though they lost a lot of troops. But actually the round looks pretty good on our side this time, so we're gonna move up this way, and maybe what I was trying to do is actually hunt down the artillery, but I saw an enemy go right there. I didn't know what tier it was, so I just assumed that it was going to be tier 3, and maybe I could take care of it. But I forgot to mention this, but I did get damage in the back, so I got some damage on me. But I finally realized that is something I should not have done with, like, not even considered to try to do it. And I made the stupidest mistake to stop, because I thought I wasn't going to be able to move, so I died. So if I were you, be careful with what you do, and you'll be successful, and don't do that. Next, we have the Corpsmen, and we are in a tier 3 battle, which is actually really good for us. And actually in this map, we actually got a good round and good people around us as well. So we're gonna move forward and see if we can try to scout people, because again, with lights, you really need to be careful with what you do. All you can do is spot, and hopefully pray to Jesus that the friendlies of yours can spot them and try to shoot them as best as you can. But I was following this M2, no, the T2, I think, the medium, tier 3, American. And so I tried to move over here and try to see if I can look around and spot any artillery, because in this round I was really hungry to kill some arties, because in this round actually all of our artillery died because some light tank came around and killed all of them, so that was a bad thing as well. So I tried to look around, and then I spotted a lot of enemies to the left. So what I did is, I think I should have moved a little bit closer to them, but I felt like the best position right now was just to move back and see what I could possibly do. And I decided to move forward this time, because I didn't want to turn back just yet. And before we show this, it's actually proven to actually be helpful for us. And artillery just took out one of the tanks, so that's good. But recently, there's the tank right there. There's 2 tank destroyers available to be destroyed, and so I'm going to move forward to kill them, but there's a river right there, so I really need to be careful, and there's a tank right there. I decided not to try to kill it because artillery was literally staring at me, so I had to be careful. The tier 3 German tank could still spot me and tried to shoot me, but got nothing out of it. I spotted the artillery, I believe tier 2, tier 3 actually. Took 1 shot, killed it pretty good, and then we saw another tier 3 tank American. Tried to shoot at it, but it wasn't successful. No penetration out of that. So I looked around and said, wait, there's one more artillery, so where is it? So I thought of that, and then turned back just for a tad bit, and tried to spot for that martyr. And then I started thinking about it right now. Then I saw him shoot. So I finally found him. Got stuck. So that's a really bad thing too. So you really want to keep on moving with a light tank and not try to get stuck, especially when when you see something like that right there. I took a shot right there and got no penetration. I landed the shot. Shot again. Didn't get 1 shot. Like, this is gonna be really bad because like I could have gotten any shots, but like I wasn't really aiming well. So if I were you, try to do this without even scoping because it's kind of better like that. Tried to shoot, but he like did a smart maneuver and tried to do that. So I got farther away, finally used my scope and shot him in the back and destroyed an arty. So that means I got 2 kills out of this match right now with 2 artillery on my badge. So got believe 3 hits on a tank, 3 tanks really, not like 2 tanks really. So I'm gonna move forward because I see 2 tank destroyers, but this could have been a mistake because I could have realized this would have been a bad idea if the tanks were actually moving forward me, because the tank that was going forward for that one was the Martyr 3, and thankfully he was not paying attention to me. So with this light tank, what you need to do if you see an opportunity, seize it, because this thing was really good. I took a shot, someone tried to shoot me, and he realized I was there, so he tried to escape. But sadly, there is no escape for him, so I tried to maneuver around him, and thankfully I was able to get some rounds into his back, because with tank destroyers, they're really slow when it comes to turning, so use that to your advantage when you're using a light tank. But oh no, the enemies are capping our base, so that is really bad. So at this point, I'm thinking this is going to be really bad, and I need to find a way to not get spotted, but get to our base and try to get some points off of our cap. But while I was paying attention with that, I sadly fell off into a pond. So don't worry though, I'm not going to die in this one. Tried to move around, thinking that like, how am I going to move? And I said to myself, oh no, I am screwed. I just screwed myself. There's no way to get through that. And I wasn't really paying attention to our cap. As you can see, it's going faster than theirs. And I thought I needed to do something before they lost. And so I saw a tank right there. I was gonna go kill it, but I shot 1 round. And I thought again, no, let's go for the cap because we're about to lose. And then we won. So that was really surprising to see that actually happened. So it was a fine victory. And our XP we gained from that was 956. And of course, without premium, was 400 and 361 silver, which was really helpful. The crew got a much XP, so you know, pretty helpful. I got all those medals. You can pause it in the video right here to see what kind of medals I got. I checked it out, made sure I got everything. Look at those stats, they're pretty impressive. And then those are all the tanks I shot at. So 3 of them I killed. 3 of them I killed? Yes, I did. I killed the Martyr 3 and 2 artillery. The Su-26 was my kill, and the T-37, I believe that's what it's called, got killed as well because of me. But I did get some spotting damage as well, so that was really helpful. And I did a really good job on it. So, yeah. Well, hopefully that video helped anything. I know the last video I did a long time ago that is actually getting a lot of views right now and a lot of watch time, but it's kind of disappointing to see that it's kind of falling but rising as well. But that is to be expected because that was my first time ever doing a review. But I know, well, not almost know, but I just have to work harder at this review thing, and hopefully you guys can give me some tips, some criticalizing tips and something like that. Yeah, I know how I speak is kind of weird. I can kind of stutter, but like, I don't know, it's like a speech impediment or something, so I don't know. I apologize for that as well, but I can't really do anything about that unless like I do like some classes or something, but you know. But hopefully this review really did help. If it didn't, please tell me in the comments so I can talk about it in another video, but I won't do another renew one unless it was that bad that everyone said it was complete garbage. I'll probably take it down, do it again, and see how that works out, or maybe do some more research. But the next one will be, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully it will be the Girls in Panzer video, hopefully with the tank, and hopefully I'll be getting, before I get it, and before it's gone, hopefully I get it with that. So thank you everyone. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching this video, and if you liked it, give it a like to support the Red Guard. And this is Brian the Bold signing out. Stay bold out there. Ciao.